Hello and welcome to World Bank Live. I'm Phil Hay and I work on communications in the bank's Africa region. We're starting the spring meetings this week with social media and with your questions. And I'm very glad to invite to the set here at World Bank headquarters this morning, Mr. Kwabena Appiah-Pinkrah. He's a member of parliament from Ghana and he's the chair of the Ghana chapter of the Parliamentary Network of the World Bank. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you, Hayes.
Let me just say, you spent 12 hours on an aeroplane coming here to Washington. You're clearly showing your commitment. What is it you hope to be doing while you're here? And what's the role of parliamentarians in development, do you think?
Thank you, Phil. It's quite interesting. I have to let you know, I was invited here by the Parliamentary Network on World Bank and IMF to participate in the spring meetings. I've had the opportunity to be here during the last meeting, annual meeting of the World Bank and the IMF last year. This year, they've invited me again. And before that, I was in Kigali, also as part of the processes of the, the Parliamentary Network and on World Bank and IMF. We are here to share ideas with the leadership of the World Bank and the IMF. We are here to listen to them. We are here to interact in a way that we could influence decision-making at the World Bank and the IMF. Basically, we'll be participating in meetings that relate to climatic change. We'll be participating in meetings that relate to the, world development, outlook of the IMF. We will be participating in meetings that helps us to understand the workings of the IMF and the World Bank. That's why we are here.
I've got a number of questions, Kwabena, one from Ghana, your own home country, that I think you'll find interesting. I know trade is one of your specialties. And the question is, could African countries use their very considerable natural resources as collateral for large infrastructure World Bank loans? Now that strikes me as a pretty reasonable question.
It is, but we have to be careful. It is. We could use our resources as sovereign guarantee to acquire loans to develop our country, particularly in serious infrastructural projects. However, we should be very careful as to how we go about doing it. World Bank may not ask us to provide sovereign guarantee. May not. We have other loans that have come to us that they never asked us for collateral. They are dealing with the country. They've been dealing with that for so many years. And yet they continue to do it. As I talk with you, we have loans from the World Bank, that is going for infrastructure development. We have loans that is going for micro, small, and medium enterprises development. We have loans that is going for specifically for enhancing the development of our children. And indeed, they have not asked us for collateral. So I'm not expecting the World Bank to ask for collateral or to ask us to, to provide sovereign guarantee. It could be that, for instance, a country like China, when they are giving us loans, may ask for what? Collateral. A country like Korea may ask for what? Collateral. A country like the US may. For years, they have never asked us for collateral. They may, but they have not done so. I'm not expecting the World Bank to do that.
Let me use the question, which I thought was a very innovative question, indeed, to look at trade. So we've had a number of questions from Nigeria on why cross-border trade in Africa is so difficult. If you think there's 1 billion people living in Africa, a potential continental economy of up to $2 trillion, why is it easier to trade with the global economy than the countries next door?
Very interesting. It has its roots in the colonial relationships that we had. Ghana is hemmed in between Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and then Burkina Faso. And they are all French-speaking countries. So the first line of problem that we have is language. The relationship with these two countries will be the language. The second is that we have our borders, not so open, which must be developed.
Right.
We have the training of our customs officers completely different from one another.
Right, right. So lots of differences.
Quite a lot of differences.
Yes.
Then we have various on the various roads. You see police posts, this post.
Right.
These are all issues that disturb us. And then we must also educate our traders.
Indeed.
As what to do and what not to do.
Having been to a number of border crossings, I'm struck at the long lines of trucks and cars and people wanting to cross. That's clearly an area of a lot of pent-up
there is
frustration.
Something that we can learn from the East Africans. The World Bank and the African Development Bank has started a project in Rwanda and Burundi. Very interesting. The two countries have one border post, and a structure has been put together, put up for the area. On one side, we have the Burundians. On the other side, we have the Rwandans. And the job is going on so beautifully because of the use of the infrastructure that exists and the technology that is also available.
So it's very clear to see the road ahead, and it's a very different African economy now.
I think we should be able to do same in West Africa. We should be able to do same in Southern Africa. We should be able to do same in the northern part of Africa.
Yeah.
And that will help us reduce to the barest minimum the time that will be wasted at the border post, the various corruption that go on.
Absolutely.
Payments here and there.
Yes.
We should be able to handle it.
So there's lots going on, lots going right, though, if you look at Africa's extraordinary growth prospects right at the end. Let me just ask you a question to finish, Kwabena. We always talk about the role of NGOs, civil society organizations, as being invaluable assets for better outcomes, whether it's evaluation, it's oversight of what it is the bank and other development agencies do. What's unique about the role that MPs can play in those better development results?
That is quite interesting. Indeed, it is our responsibility as parliamentarians in various African countries to ensure that we keep oversight of public expenditure, number one.
Right.
Two, public projects, and ensure that they are actually implemented properly, or that funds are, utilized efficiently and cost-effectively. But then there is an issue. Parliaments have had difficulty in doing this job because most of the projects are not written by parliamentarians for funding. They are written by the executive. And before parliamentarians get access to these documents, it is only when the funds are being made available, that the parliamentarians are required to approve of the loans, approve of the grants, in which case it comes out very difficult. It becomes very difficult for parliamentarians to control effectively what ought to be done. But then we have a role to play. We must visit the project sites. We must ask questions in respect to the projects that are being implemented. We must go to the ministries, relate to the project officers, talk to them, ask them to do the right things.
So this is a really vital role indeed.
Yeah.
We wish you all the very best in Washington this week. So, Mr. Appiah-Pinkrah, thanks very much indeed for being with us here in Washington this week. And let me just say thanks very much to you for watching us at World Bank Live today.